Hello, I'm Lisa Adams, a veteran reporter with Erie News Now, and I'm pleased to have been invited by United Way to conduct an interview here with a panel of exciting educators from our community about the Community Schools Initiative and how it's working for them and in their schools. So I'm going to start out by asking each of you if you can just go around the panel and tell us your name, what position you have at what school, and how long you've been there. So let's start in the front row with Iroquois.
My name's Emily. I teach pre-K at Iroquois Elementary. This is my second year with the Braves, and I couldn't be happier.
Terrific.
Hi, my name is Malik Brinson. I am at Piper Burley. This is my second year teaching, and I'm a fourth grade teacher.
Hi, I'm Matt Koval. I'm the assistant principal at East Middle School, and this is my fifth year at East.
I'm Melanie. I am a kindergarten teacher at McKinley, and I have been teaching there for 14 years.
I'm Amy Rupp, Deal Elementary, second grade. It's my fourth year at Deal, but 18th in the school district.
I'm Becky Pariza. I teach fifth grade at Deal, and I'm at Deal for 21 years.
Hi, I'm Carrie Janowski. I'm a second grade teacher at McKinley, and I've been there for 3 years.
So across the panel, we can see that there's a variety of number of years in the education field, or maybe at the specific schools where you're working. But I'd like to ask you now what you know about the community schools model at your respective schools. So who wants to start us off and share something about what you know about what community schools is doing at your particular school?
You know, the community school model is there to bridge gaps between the community and our students' need to be successful at school. So whether that be providing them with food resources, clothing resources, agencies within the community, really anything that we can do to take away barriers that gets in the way of our students being successful, that's where our community schools step in.
We discuss any issues, any scenarios or resources that we need for these kids or families. And whereas before, I know 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we didn't have all this availability for them, just different supplies, glasses for these kids, the food pantry. We now have a mobile dentist that comes in a couple times a year for these kids to get to the dentist, books, supplies, that there's a variety of things that these kids have the opportunity to have where we didn't have that before.
The Iroquois supply list has gone from pages down to please just show up to school with a smile on your face. We have everything that you could possibly need.
It's an immediate response, and that wasn't the case years ago. You know, they would have to ask for something. It might take weeks. It might take, we'll get back to you. Let me see who can help you with that, what agency. Right now, we can go in the morning, and by the end of the day, we are meeting that family's needs. So it's an immediate response, and that right there sets that homeschool community connection right from the first day.
So I know that at East, one of our targeted areas has been student attendance and school readiness. We have found over the few years that we've been a community school, well, we've actually been a community school ever since we opened as a middle school, but we found one of our critical areas, those areas of attendance and school readiness, and being able to survey families, survey students, our staff, and come up with the idea or the understanding that some of our students just aren't coming to school because A, they can't get there, they might not have clothing to wear when they come to school. Those types of areas that we have found the community schools have just been a huge help in that. You know, we have a closet of clothing. We continuously get donations throughout the year.
So how do you think you're getting the message out that, how are you making parents feel comfortable to ask? How do you get the word out? Is it kind of a word of mouth thing?
I think it starts with the students. Like they're coming to us and they can go home and say that they have everything they need. So I think just starting with the students and then that goes to the home.
And knowing it's for everyone. It's not specific to one student or one grade. It's equal opportunity amongst all students and all families, and that has really helped as well.
Can anybody speak to what it was like looking back to work at a school that wasn't a community school as compared to how it is now, or if you've seen the transition in your own school, or maybe if you've made a move, how is that different?
My previous school was not a community school model, and I see a huge academic difference in my students and motivational, just every day, more motivated to come to school, and they just feel safer.
I actually was kindergarten with Lincoln last year, and they're on their way to becoming a community school as well. But now going to Piper Burley with them actually being a community school, I believe that there's just so much more opportunities for our students, and I'm glad that all schools in the district are actually doing that, because I have students that's actually going to their home with food, and I know that they're being fed on the weekend. They're coming to school with actually clothes that we gave them. Now they're coming back and they're clean. So they're just happier with that, and I'm just glad to see their improvements.
I know that there is a community schools director at each school. So can you talk at all about whether you've had interactions with your school's community director, and what difference is that person making in your individual experience or your schools?
I would like to speak as an Iroquois parent on this, because when my son and I were at home quarantine, our community school director came to my door as a family, not as an employee, and she came to check on both my son and I, and she had a food bag for us. She had his homework, his tablet, his charger, and anything that I possibly left in my classroom as a teacher, and just delivered it with a smile on her face and a dance in my front window, and it brightened our day, because we were bored, we were down, and we just needed that little bit of love to get through the day.
It's like no matter where you go, our community director is there.
I just love when the kids run in and give Misty a big hug, and or they look at her with such adoring eyes, like, thank you for helping me, thank you for making my day safe and happy, and she's just a dependable person. The whole model is a dependable model.
I would say from my viewpoint, our community school director works very closely with our administrative team. There are 3 of us in terms of principals at the building, but Miss Pierce is pretty much a 4th one of us most of the time. Community schools it's not just some program that's offered within our school. It is what our school is. We are a community school. So making sure that she has a voice and pretty much in any decision that we made when it comes to how our students will be impacted has been very important for us.
If you were talking to a teacher or a principal at a different school and they were skeptical at all or wondered what this is really all about, how would you tell them it's great to have this at your school?
There's no uncertainty throughout the day. You have what it takes to provide a successful day to these children, no matter what. And to any teacher or administrator, that's the ultimate goal. It's a no-brainer.
It's always hard to lend help to someone without embarrassing them. So you seem to say that hurdle has been overcome, that barrier has been overcome, where somebody isn't going to feel stigmatized because you're helping them. Any additional thoughts on that?
We teach kids about empathy all the time, about stepping into somebody else's shoes. So if you know that one of your classmates don't have it, you should know that that's okay. All right, that's why we're helping. That's why we have this going on, because we want to be able to provide help to everybody. It's okay if somebody else doesn't have something. Maybe if you have it, you can help them out.
At McKinley, we've implemented the walking school bus to increase our attendance, so I'm not sure if other schools are doing that. I'm not really positive, but that has been a wow moment for me, just to see kids that were missing school repeatedly, and now they're at school every single day because someone's at their door to pick them up.
Explain a little bit about the walking school bus, how that works.
So the blue coats in the school district, we have 3 at McKinley. They stop at each kid's house that is signed up for the walking school bus, and it's pretty much just a walking bus, and they get them safely from home to school and back after school. And it has been a massive improvement in attendance at McKinley.
Talk just a little bit about this idea of being proactive instead of reactive. Broadly maybe, but you can also talk about the truancy problem specifically.
I actually came from the Erie School District. I went from 4th grade all the way to high school, and back then there was no community schools model. Dealing with it now, I just feel like if I had those opportunities, maybe I would even become more, honestly. Just not having to deal with worrying about clothing, worrying about going home and being hungry, just worrying about all those basic needs that we talk about every time. We just need to just provide the kids with the best we can. Being in the shoes of the kids and now seeing the opportunities that they have, it just makes it fulfilling to be a teacher, you know what I mean? Because I know I'm providing what the kids need. So just stepping into their shoes and now having them have all the opportunities that they need, it makes everything rewarding.
Since our community school director has started, we have tragically had 3 students pass, and she was our rock through that. getting people to come in the very next day, organizing things for the families, for the students at our school, especially bringing things, meeting those families' needs, as well as meeting the staff needs, the student needs, and I don't know how we honestly would have made it through those times without her.
Was that in the fire?
Yeah, the student was mine, and she was a tremendous help. We were able to actually take the students' handwriting, and we've done it for all 3 of the students, and she turned them into mementos through something she found online, and we were able to give them dog tags, necklaces, bracelets, and it was actual with the students' writing. And like I said, any ideas we have, we go to her, and it is, like, I have chills because she can make it happen, where before I don't know that we would have been able to. And we were able to walk in the next day, just back in December, and not have to worry about how are we going to get through this, and how are we going to get the kids through this, and how, as a staff, are we going to get through this. She got us through it. She really did.
Well, I hope you all learned a lot more about the community schools model and how it's really working and making a difference in so many ways in so many schools. I know I learned a lot. Thanks for being with us. I'm Lisa Adams.